Okay, hello everyone and welcome back. We are going to do our shape building car. Okay, so let's zoom in. And let's start with artboard, let's see, number 1. Okay, so go down here, artboard navigation, and click on number 1, and you'll be directed right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is close this. So the path that I just deleted, we're going to do the same thing to this. So let's press Alt, select your object, press Alt, click and drag to the side. And all we have to do is go to Object, Path, and Join. So the one on the very top. And there you go. So just create that, and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so compound paths are pretty interesting. So this is a path. So a line creates a path, but we can create a path out of a shape. So let's select both, press Alt, copy both at the same time. Now over at Properties, go to Align Center, Vertical Align Center, and make sure they're aligned perfectly. That's good. Okay. And then what I want you to do is Object, go to Object on top, Compound Path right on the bottom, and then Make. Okay. Now duplicate this shape by selecting it. So select and press Alt or Option. Okay, so Alt, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to Properties, Fill, and we can fill it with any color. So let's choose, I'm going to do black, or if you want to do red, that's completely fine. It doesn't really matter. So again, this is completely a path. And let me just show you an example. So we created a hole right here. Okay, so just leave that there and we'll move on to the next shape building exercise. Okay. Excuse me. So we're going to create this little Volkswagen Beetle. And first I'm going to Control 2. So Control 2 is locking, pressing Control 2 is locking the shape, the white background, but again you can always go to Lock and Lock Selection. Just do it in case it's not locked and you won't be able to see the path that I just did when you download your assignment. So now we're going to go to the ellipse tool on your toolbar right here, and we're going to create all these shapes. And let's see, move the stroke down to 10 points and try to find the middle. So let's press on Shift Alt, click and drag out. Okay, and make sure your fill is on none. So go to Properties, Fill, and press none. And let's move. Excuse me. Let's move it up a little bit more. Okay, so again, you don't have to meet the very edges. Just do the best you can and make sure all these lines intersect, and there's going to be a whole reason for it. So I'm creating a very simple object by using the shapes we learned in our previous assignment. Okay, so let's do an ellipse here. So let's go deselect by clicking the select tool and then clicking in an empty area. And I don't think this is going to be on the very center. So let's click on, okay, so we're clicking and then we're also pressing Shift and Alt. Okay, let's stretch this out. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to create 2 circles. Okay, so let's press Shift and Alt. I think that's fine. Deselect, Shift and Alt, and deselect. Okay, if you don't feel like they're very centered, you can just select both. And let's do the same thing we always do. Okay, so they were perfectly centered. Now we're going to copy this and move this to the other side. So remember, have both of these objects selected, press Alt or Option with Mac, click and drag. And notice here that they don't align perfectly. Okay, so that's fine. Just make sure they align perfectly. But if you don't align them exactly, that's okay too. Because you're going to see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to, let's create this shape. So it's going to go to rectangle, create this, and go to selection tool. Okay, so if you don't see the live corners, that means you're not zoomed in enough. So zoom in by pressing Control plus or Option plus on Mac. Click on one live corner and drag it down. Again, you don't have to have it selected. Just click once and then drag it in. Okay, and then we're going to add these later. So we're going to have an easier time merging all of our shapes and taking away stuff. So what we're going to do is create a marquee box. So click and drag, select all of your objects, and we're going to go to the shape builder. So the shape builder is going to be on your toolbar, and then you're going to go all the way down here. And it's also Shift M on your keyboard. So if you can't find it, go there. Click on shape builder. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to erase this shape. So, but I want you to notice that every time I hover over a piece, it's going to be shaded in a dotted gray screen. Kind of looks like a window screen. Okay, so whenever you hover over that, that means you can combine these two shapes, or you can take away. So we're going to take away first. Press Alt or Option on your keyboard, click, and you're going to erase these shapes. And I want you to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, and I think I accidentally deleted one. Okay, so zoom in a little bit more. And if you need help with knowing which shape to delete, I have a reference right here. You can move it around, you can shrink it, do whatever you want with it. I would just make it tiny and just set it off to the side. Zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to get rid of all of this. That's good. And let's select some of these shapes. Oh, let's lock this one first. Control T. Oh no, Control 2. And then select. There you go. Okay, now we're going to press on the shape builder again and then start deleting by pressing Alt. And we're going to delete all of this. Okay, great. And let's move on to the other side. And we're going to delete by pressing Alt. This shape. Oh, it's not selected, so you have to select them. Press Shift and select. So, okay, there you go. Now I'm going to Shape Builder tool. Press Alt, and then we're just going to delete all the space in here. Okay, there you go. Again, they have to be selected. Sometimes things don't select correctly, so that's fine. So we're going to go all the way around. You can create a marquee line. So you see right here, let me just show you again. So click and drag in the shape. So that's how you delete shapes. It's really, really nice. And let's see. Now let's start adding them. Okay, so adding, you don't have to press on anything, just click and drag here. But we don't want to actually join these pieces. Let's just join these two pieces and then these pieces right here and one right here. Just select the whole car again. I don't want to miss any pieces. Okay, so we're going to go to Shape Builder tool and click these two pieces together. So any piece that are inside here, join them. And then we're going to join these pieces too. So click here, drag up and around. So we're going to join this piece into one piece. This one right here, the top of the car, and the other side. Okay, and then we're going to join these two pieces. So select both. Okay, now we're going to get rid of this. So press Alt and click once, and that should be gone. So every time you highlight something, that means it's going to either add or take away, depending on if you're pressing on Alt or not. Okay, if you're having a hard time with the background here, just again, you go to Object, Unlock All, select your background, and then lower the opacity. There you go. So I can tell which piece do I need to add or take away. So now we're going to the line segment where the rectangle tool is or the ellipse tool is. We're just going to go to the one in the bottom, click here, and then Shift on your keyboard and then bring it down. There you go. Now we're going to create a pill shape, the handlebar, by clicking on the rectangle on the toolbar. And again, it doesn't really matter what size it is. And actually, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. But let's shape it out first. Shrink it down a little bit. And I'm going to have these two be, let's go to 5 points. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller now. And make sure it's on 5 points. Because every time you shrink it, it's going to change the weight. You can also just get rid of scale, strokes, and effects, but that's something for later. You don't really have to do that. Okay, let's lock this. Okay, so I locked the background again. Okay, so now you have your car. Now we're going to fill in the car. Okay, so let's fill it in, and how we're going to fill it in is we're going to select the object right here. Oh, let me move this to the side. Select, press Alt, and click downwards. Okay. So we're going to select this path right here. We're just going to select it. And notice how it's interesting. It's actually a puzzle piece. So let me just move this to the side. So we basically created a puzzle piece. So there's nothing overlapping. There's nothing like in the bottom of your piece or on top. They're all right there. Okay, so let's select this big piece, and then we're going to go to Fill on your properties, and then click on Red. And that's how you have your color selected. Now we're going to go to another piece, and this one's going to be interesting because we're going to change the colors. So what we're going to do is going to go to the color palette, and we're going to go to More Options, or this step ladder here, and we're going to click on RGB. So that's really interesting. Sometimes it doesn't want to do anything. Okay, so if that happens, just click on the little swatch right here, like the little red swatch. Sometimes you need to activate it because I had it on none. Oh yeah, that's why I had it on none. And I didn't select from here. So let's do that. Okay, so over here you can either change it however you want, whatever color you want. Be sure to click on WebSafe RGB. So this is whatever's safe on the internet to use. And I'll explain this one day soon enough. If you don't know what these guys are, that's completely fine. But just remember, we're going to do WebSafe RGB. Okay, and then I'm going to go to one of these. I'm going to make it so your eyedrop tool, it's going to pop up automatically, and it's going to choose, you can choose whatever color you want. I'm going to go a lighter color. Here, that's a good color. And let's click on the window, and we're going to go to Fill. Yes, you have to activate it. Let's click it. And I want to do a bluish color. So let's do a bluish color. And then you could also slide the bars right here. That's completely fine. Okay, so this is going to be gray. So let's go to Fill. And you can always go back to the swatches and choose a lightish color. So let's do this one where it says CMYK and the K is 30. Good. And how we're going to color the rest in. So it's pretty easy. We're going to click on one shape, press Shift, and click on this other shape on the end. Now we're going to go to your toolbar, go all the way down here, click on eyedrop tool. You know, we saw that earlier, and we're going to click right on the middle. So we're going to click on the bar that's in the middle. Now we're going to go to the select tool again, click on this other shape. You can either press I on your keyboard to have the eyedrop tool, or you can select it here and then click on this other side. As for the handlebar, I changed the color to a darker color, so let's go back to RGB, and I'm going to go down here. Okay, good. And let's do the same with this color, but just hold on a good second, because we're going to flip this all around. Okay. And also, if you want to get this color, you could just press 99 and 0 and 0 in these boxes, and you'll get the exact same color too. Okay, so let's flip this all around. So let's select a box over these guys, and let's deselect these ones too. So press Shift and deselect by pressing Shift on your keyboard and clicking on these objects. So that's how you deselect certain objects, because we're going to deal with these later. Okay. So all we have to do is go to stroke and click on none. And that's how you get rid of the stroke, and there's nothing interfering with it, which is really, really nice. Okay, and there you go. And let's select this guy and get rid of the stroke. Okay, and then let's look at, okay, let's deselect. Let's look at the fill color, and you're going to see 99, 0, 0, and 0, 0. So we're going to go here and go to stroke, and then we're going to put 99, 0, 0, and 0, 0. So 0. This one. I think that was. Oh, let me check again what color that was. Sometimes I accidentally skipped. Oh, so it was just color safe RGB. Let's double click again. Oh, okay, so this is CMYK. Okay, let's go back to web save. 99, 0, 0, and 0, 0. And you can press enter or deselect. So what happened earlier, let me just show you. This might happen to other people too. Let's click on this box. I had it on CMYK, so I had it on this, but I didn't have it on WebSave. So you can select WebSave and you should be fine. And also, this is a really good, you can just copy this color on your keyboard. So just copy and select a shape that you want to change the color to this one, and I'm going to choose fill, and over here just delete on from your keyboard, press, or no, let's not press Control V, like you can just right click and then paste, and then press enter, and that's going to change the color, but we're not going to do that right now. It's only deleted. Okay, but again, you can choose whatever color you want with this one. That's on you, so have fun with this part. Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now we're going to move on to creating a compound shape with these two items. And I'm going to select both of these and this one. And also read the instructions if you're feeling a little bit confused. Okay, so now we're going to create compound shapes. So we're going to select these two by creating a marquee over these two shapes. Now we're going to join them by going to the align on the properties bar, and then we're going to go to object, compound shape, and then make. And you know that will happen when the stroke is gone. So the stroke's gone, that's good. And now we're going to select these shapes. Okay, make sure they're aligned, and then we're going to group them. So right click, group. Don't forget to group them because it's going to be hard to adjust when we're there. And you can also group this. So let's group. Okay, so now we're going to place this here. Press Alt when it's still selected. That's good. Press Alt, click, and then drag to the right. Make sure, again, select both of these shapes. They are aligned on the vertical align center. And if you want, you can move them around by going up on your keyboard or down individually too, so you can adjust them however you want. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to look perfect. There you go. And that's how you create your car with compound shapes and your Pathfinder. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is have your beetle, change the colors, and adjust it accordingly. And we're done with this lesson. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next lesson. Thank you.